Dear learners, welcome to Arprit program on Library Information Science hosted by IIT Delhi. My name is Dr. Shantanu Ganguly. I am working as a fellow Knowledge Source Center of TERI. Now, we are going to talk on a very specific important area today which is called as reference management, but before that I want to touch base on something related to copyright, because unless and until I discuss on copyright, then I will not be able to tell you exactly how this particular thing is important in reference management module, is important in context, in today's context and all. My dear learners, let me tell you that I organize several research literacy programs for my research professionals in TERI, where I have experienced that everybody has a certain level of copyright knowledge, but sometimes ignorance could be something very difficult also to assimilate, and sometimes ignorance can cause lot of danger also, lot of fatal also. So, for that we need to understand, and we do a lot of reference management programs for them to make them aware of different kinds of reference management tools and techniques which should be used in today's context, because they are all researchers, and when they are writing a research papers or a project reports, or they are submitting some reports to the client or working on a particular project, it is extremely important for them. Now, when we do organized research, when I talk about, first thing is that when I am going to talk about copyright or something like that, see, you do not need to afraid of anything. Copyright is, yes, it is a legal matter, but you do not need to be afraid of. Rather, what I would advise you to adopt a systematic process. Then you need to access the resources, you have to understand the citation and reference management of all resources, what we are going to discuss right now, and giving a credit to the aspirant, the person who has contributed in that particular document or resources. You need to give him a complete credit to that person, and develop a culture to do not plagiarize and all. So, this is a very important component into it. Now, when I am talking about access to resources, there are, in today's context, there is a vast amount of resources, online resources, print resources are available, vast amount in different formats and all, from where exactly you take these resources for your research purpose and all. Now, I will come to what exactly the plagiarism is. Now, according to Merriam-Webster online dictionary, plagiarize means couple of things, like for example, to steal and pass off the ideas or words of another as one's own. See, you have given a statement, you have written down something, and if somebody steals your that particular thing and use it in his own way for his some other purpose, then your intellectual capability gets defeated. So, that is what is plagiarism is, to use another's production without crediting the source. You have taken somebody's production, but you do not provide an appropriate credit to that person, and to commit a literary theft, or to present as a new and original an idea or a product derived from an existing source. So, these are some of the important components related to plagiarism actually. Now, it is also termed as a copyright infringement. Plagiarism occurs only when you borrow another's words or ideas and do not acknowledge that person appropriately. It is the culture of an individual. It starts from the birth of a person. So, when you are in a childhood, you have been asked not to steal. So, from there actually your cultural development not to plagiarize has taken a birth. So, we need to understand that, because not everything belongs to us, it belongs to somebody else also. So, we need to understand what belongs to me and what belongs to somebody else. We need to, and if we are taking somebody's thing, it is better to take a permission from that person. Plagiarism is a very serious offense in today's context, and the best way to avoid the plagiarism is to cite your resources, both within the body of your paper and in a bibliography of sources you used as the end of the paper. Now, for avoiding the plagiarism, cite your resource. So, in writing a paper or a report, when you are writing it, you know the body of your paper, where the words or the information came from, using an appropriate formatting style, and you will provide an information about the source like author, title, name of the publication, date, etc. And at the end of the paper, in the bibliography, also called as works cited on reference page, depending on the style you use. In giving formal presentations, it means you acknowledge on your slide where the graph, chart or other information came from. Then avoiding the plagiarism, appropriate referencing is required. You are free to quote from your own earlier work, published or unpublished, but make sure that you give credit to yourself and to the publisher, because the publisher has printed your chapter, your papers and everything. So, you have to give, even if it is written by you, do not think that it belongs to you, because it belongs to the publisher. So, you have to give you the credit to yourself also. Even when you are taking material from institutions, reports, published, unpublished, give credit to the authors and the publisher, such as, for example, in this case I take an example of, if it is published by Terry, so write down it as Terry, even the author's names are not written there. Sources not cited. So, there are a couple of categories, like for example, the ghost writer. The writer turns in another's work word for word as is her own. Then another thing is called photocopy, the photocopy. The writer copies significant portions of the text straight from a single source without altercation. Okay. And the potluck paper, the writer tries to disguise the plagiarism by copying from several different sources, tweaking the sentences to make them fit together while retaining most of the original phrasing. So, there are three categories have been discussed: the ghost writer, the photocopy, the potluck paper. The another is the poor disguise. The writer alters the paper's appearance slightly by changing key words and phrases, like the labor of laziness. The writer takes the time to paraphrase most of the paper from other sources and make it all fit together, instead of spending the same effort on original work. Then the self-stealer. The writer borrows generously from his own previous work, violating the policies concerning the expectations of originality adopted by the most academic institutions. So, these are the 6 categories of where basically the sources not cited as I have. So, ghost writer, the photocopy, the potluck paper, the poor disguise, the labor of laziness and the self-stealer. So, you try to understand each one of the components. Sources cited, but still it is plagiarized. The forgotten footnote, this is a very exceptional thing and these are very common. The writer mentions an author's name for a source, but neglects to include specific information on the location of the material referenced. This often masks other forms of plagiarism by obscuring sourcing the locations. The misnomer effect. The writer provides inaccurate information regarding the sources, making it impossible to find them. And the too perfect paraphrase. The writer properly cites a source, but neglects to put in quotation marks text that has been copied word for word or close to it, although attributing the basic ideas to the source. The writer is falsely claiming original presentation and interpretation of the information. The another is the resourceful citer. The writer properly cites all sources, paraphrasing and using quotations appropriately. The catch is the paper contains almost no original work. It is sometimes difficult to spot this form of plagiarism because it looks like any other well researched document. So, please be careful. The perfect crime, well, we all know it does not exist. In this case, the writer properly quotes and cites sources in some places, but goes on to paraphrase other arguments from those sources without citation. This way, the writer tries to pass off the paraphrase material as is her own analysis of the cited material. So, these are some of the categories: the forgotten footnote, the misinformer effect, the too perfect paraphrase, the resourceful citer and the perfect crime. Now, what is exactly the referencing then in that case? So, we will try to look into what is citation, how do I cite my sources, doesn't cites make my work seem less original, when do I need to cite, what is a bibliography, what is an annotated bibliography, what is the difference between a references and bibliography, what are endnotes, what are footnotes, what is the difference between footnotes and endnotes, if I cite sources in the footnotes or endnotes, how is that different from a bibliography. So, there are several components which are there in the as far as the referencing is concerned. Now, referencing, why we do it? Sources need to be acknowledged when you are writing your project, thesis, dissertation, paper, book, chapter, whatever it is. This allows your teacher to check your work, see which sources of informations you have used. It is very good to cite them, because then the teacher says, yes, this person has written a piece of his work taking the views of others also. So, you have not gone into different direction. Ensure you haven't just made up the information. This allows referees, reviewer, examiner to verify the contents. Now, what to cite? When you write some paper, dissertation or thesis, you may use words, opinions, statistics, facts, information from an author or any other source, and then the pictorial representations. You are required to put down a footnote, quotation marks, and or on in text parenthetical reference to the author. If there is no author, then state where you find the information. Citing a source, never copy more than 3 to 4 words in a row from a source without using the quotation marks or going back and properly paraphrasing it. Never use special words or phrases without properly quoting and citing them. When in doubt, you should always cite your source. Make it clear who said what and give credit to that right person who is the creator of that particular documentation, and evaluate the referred services, referred sources, that not all sources on the web are worth citing, and the guidelines for citing sources properly, difference between bibliography and references, use plagiarism check detect tools like Turnitin and Exalt. Now, there are certain guidelines which are available as far as the citing is concerned. There is a lot of rules, regulations are there. Difference between the bibliography and the references. Bibliography means, like for example, let me take an example of your thesis. Now, for every chapter you have cited certain papers inside the document, and you have given a complete listing of all the papers, book chapters from wherever, both bibliography and bibliography, where you have taken all these resources. Now, this is chapter wise chapter, you have done it. At the end of the book, you put together all the references in a complete listing in a alphabetical order, so that the the researcher who is going into documentation of such kind of a thing, he can refer it further for his research purpose and all. So, where you are compiling all the references of the individual chapters, it is basically called as a bibliography. Or you can also develop, like in the library information science people, like for example, suppose your researcher asks you to develop some of the research work taken place in the field of nanobiotechnology or in the field of nanosensors in photovoltaics. Now, in that case, you can find out resources from different sources, and then you can develop a bibliography on nanosensors or on nanobiotechnology or on application of nanotechnology in several photovoltaics and all, you can develop a bibliography. So, there is a difference between a bibliography and references, and there is a software which is called as Turnitin, is a very interesting software which detects the plagiarism level of your document or any researchers and all. So, what does citations mean? Citation in the context simply means giving a credit where credit is due. Proper citation involves clear indicating like author, title, publication information, for the print, online, broadcast and all, which words and ideas come from which sources, and when you are moving from your own words and ideas to the ideas of another, it includes the source writer's name or the signal phrase and all that you do that. In the world there are almost 11,000 type of citation styles, but these are some of the listing of the citation styles which are very popular in context to different subject headings which you can see, like on humanities which of them are very popular with the publishers, in science, in social science and in other categories also, and you can go through it. These are all available in the website, you can go through all of them. Now let us come to the word called paraphrasing. Know how to paraphrase. A paraphrase is a restatement in your own words of someone else's ideas, changing a few words of the original sentences, and does not make your writing a legitimate paraphrase. You must change both the words and sentence structure of the original without changing the content. Also, you should keep in mind the paraphrase passage still required citation, because the ideas came from another source even though you are putting them in your own words. Change the order and structure of sentences, use synonyms, different forms of words, and change the voice or the perspective and all. Now, what is a public domain? Works that no longer protected by copyright or never have been are considered as public domain. This means that you may be freely borrow materials from these works without fear of plagiarism, provided you make proper attributions. How do I know if something is public domain or not? Now, these are very relevant questions, because that is what I mentioned, that I teach a research literacy program. So, these are some of the questions generally people ask me when I conduct those programs. So, the terms and conditions under which works enter the public domain are a bit complicated. In general, anything published more than 75 years ago is now in the public domain. Works published after 1975 are protected for the lifetime of the author plus 70 years. So, these are some of the jurisdictions are there. The laws governing works published fewer than 75 years ago, but before 1978 are more complicated. Although generally copyright protection extended up to 28 years after publication plus 47 more years if the copyright was renewed, totaling 75 years from the publication date. And if you are uncertain whether or not a work is in the public domain, it is probably best to contact a IPR lawyer or a copyright lawyer, or act under the assumption that it is still protected by the copyright laws. This is a glimpses of a Turnitin platform where you can see that it is available in several languages, and you can see that once the document is there, so is the document gets checked at each and every point. Now, there is a very important component into it, that whenever you are checking a particular document in Turnitin, generally it goes into the buffer. So, next time when you try to check it, it may show you an 100% copyright plagiarism and all. So, it is very important, once again you are putting that article into the plagiarism Turnitin software, please ensure that does not appear even in your buffer also. I will also look into a very interesting platform which I generally refer for my researchers, is called Citavi. It is a reference management and knowledge organizations platform. It is a knowledge toolkit. This is the website and you can go through it. Now, there are two versions are there, one is a free version, another is a priced versions. So, each one of you can go accordingly, whatever is your strength. Now, Citavi is basically useful when you do a scholarly writing. It is the best. Citavi is said to be, it has got these are 5 components, and these 5 components are 5 stages actually. So, we need to understand when we are working on Citavi, like gathering the information, planning it, studying it, organizing the knowledge and then publishing it. So, these are the 5 stages. Citavi is the perfect reference management tool for research purpose. It supports you through the entire process, from the planning to searching online to working with your sources and organizing the knowledge, and of course, preparing your manuscript on your own or in a team formation. You can, if you are doing a collaborative research work or so, something like that. It has a reference editor, navigation on the left, editing in the middle, preview on the right for PDF, and then the text documents, images, web pages, and your own knowledge items can enter. And you can import it from your EndNote libraries, RIS, BibTeX, ENW or other text files, whatever it is, it supports all of them. So, you can take from there also. This is a table view of the entire platforms, which you can see, where you can add the columns, you can sort it, you can group your data, and you can export to Microsoft Excel or OpenOffice. If you are working, you can do that also. So, it is a very simplified platform, which I am sure all of you would be able to use it. Citaview lets you search through 4,000 online resources, including shared library catalogs and bibliographic databases and countless university libraries. Because of this, Citaview is used extensively in a global arena by the international researchers or by the global researchers more than even Mendeley. But I will show you the demo of the Mendeley also, if you are familiar with that, but you can think of converting yourself to Citaview also. Citaview's online search offers the same search fields as each catalog's website. So, if you search multiple catalogs at once, Citaview offers all the options they have in common. With Citaview, you can search your local library catalog, which is there institutionalized in your organization, add your favorite library call numbers to book you found somewhere else, and check the availability of your references from the open URL. Citaview also detects databases your organization has subscribed to and helps your organization's IT department to easily set the administrative settings for all users. So, it can easily be done, but that can only be possible when you buy the license platform. So, that is kind of a work you will need to do. You can do a task planning. Citaview's task planner lets you manage your project task, remind you of the deadlines and make sure you stay on track, and designed specifically for scholarly work. The task planner makes sure nothing falls through the cracks. So, it is a very organized planning. If you are looking at Citaview, is the answer for you. Now, when you are starting, use the preview to review the images, videos and presentations. You can highlight those components and bring it to your relevant areas, or you can store it also. You can read, you can evaluate PDFs, and you can other full text and all. Click to copy a passage to the reference as a quotation, abstract or a table of contents. The knowledge organizer, by saving the knowledge items like quotation, thoughts and comments in the knowledge organizer, Citaview helps you to make sense of the content and create a knowledge from the information also, because it gives basically it is linked to other online databases too. So, Citaview gives you a tools for organizing and structuring your collected knowledge. So, you can imagine if you have given up the keywords which help you to describe the items, while categories let you to structure and make the grouping for you. So, Citaview also helps you in such advanced form. Another thing is that with the publication assistant, you insert citation and quotations into your manuscript. When you are done, Citaview formats your paper in the citation style you need and complete the bibliography also. So, choose from over 700 citation styles. So, 700 citation style and all the leading ones is there in the Citaview formats. So, you can develop your own, you can create your own formatting also, and very soon that it may be integrated as a part of your Microsoft Word also. So, you can see the kind of advancement is taking place as far as the Citaview reference management knowledge organizing platform is concerned. So, more useful features like the family of picker extensions let you grab references and quotations from your web browser or Adobe Reader, send the current page or document to a Citaview as a reference, save selected text as a quotation in Citaview, save abstracts, table of contents and keyword just as easily, save images as image quotations or cover art, and Picker detects every ISBN and DOI number, that is digital object identification number, on a web page. Just one click and the reference is added to your project. So, you can imagine so much of advanced features are available in the Citavi platform. So, I would request each one of you learners to please go through this platform as much as possible. It also supports the process of scholarly writing, gathering, planning and organizing and studying, supports online resources, includes browser extensions, provides knowledge building tools, it supports work in teams. So, basically some of the group of people if working on a common project. So, this particular platform plays a very integral role into that, and includes extensive support and the training offerings also. Now, I will give you a brief introductions of the Mendeley. I am sure many of you must be aware, but those who are not, please listen to that. It organizes your documents as well as references, collaborate by joining and creating groups, discover the statistics, recommendations and stay up to date, and you can learn more. Now, it is a free academic software, cross platform. It is available with Windows, Mac, Linux versions and all major browsers are supporting them. You can have a desktop version, web version and a mobile version also. So, this is a complete desktop overview of the Mendeley platform, and on this particular site you can see that it shows your complete library structures which you have created based on your authenticated email ID, that these are the resources or the contents are basically belongs to you. And related to that, these are your references which are related. If you open a particular directory, it shows all these kinds of references which are present, and this is the third window which shows the each and every documents, its abstracts, the complete documentations and the references and everything is there. You can very easily add a document. It is just a drop and down. So, you can do that, select a file folder to add from your computer also, watch a folder, that how the folder, you can see what you can watch the folder, you can add references manually also, that is also there. You can import your references from, if you are using BibTeX or EndNote or Zotero or your RIS or whatever platforms you are using, you can directly import from there in the Mendeley platforms. This is a document details where you can enter the DOI, the PubMed or the Archviz ID or the click on the magnifying glass to start lookup, and then Mendeley adds missing you into automatically, looks into it, and then look up the documents by title on Google Scholar if they are flagged for review and all. There is a facility for web importer also. So, you can cut paste, like drag the save to Mendeley button to your bookmarks, and then you can find that article into that, click the save to Mendeley and then review the details later on, and then all you can refer it also. One of the important component I would say that when you install the Mendeley, which is a installation is with a web browser. Now, these platforms, which is one of the fundamental importance of this particular platform is, you see when you are using Mendeley, you can see that there is a red color symbol is there, which is always there in your computer. So, it shows that you have installed Mendeley into it. Now, click the save to the Mendeley to import references from your search results. So, you can easily put all of them like this. Select an article and import the reference to your library in one click. You can do that, and then you can synchronize your library to the Mendeley cloud to access it anywhere. Suppose for example, you are working in an institution today, tomorrow you are in abroad and you want to refer, you remember that I have consulted one particular article, I want to refer it back, how should I go about it? So, you can do that from anywhere, anytime. So, you can, because it is all there in the cloud. Mendeley backs up your library online, access your articles from anywhere and get customized suggestions and add them to your library also. You can create your own category of folders. So, you can create your mark as read and unread also, and you can save the favorites also by putting a star mark into it, and open the attached file in integrated viewer and then see what type of document is attached. It could be have any extensions like PDF, PPT, Doc, Excel, it could be anything, and nowadays different kinds of other formats are also there, so that you can put you. Search your documents, you can put a search, it has got a just a generalized open meta search is given for searching your documents also. Filter your documents by author, tag, publications or keywords, and then you can also see it in your PDF viewer also. You can see this is a snapshot of that. Read and work in the PDF viewer, you can marking and then annotate and highlight it also. You can bring in the post-it and you can start writing it, some of the points which you have picked it up and all. So, you can see that this is how it is being done. Look up the term definition, these are some of the process I have shown in this presentations how you should do it. Term definitions also you can look into it, and install the citation plugin, like for example LibreOffice and all, they are very free. So, you can citation you can do it. The citation toolbar will appears in Word automatically. The picture which was shown up above it is Mac version, the lower one is a Windows version which is similar to your Windows thing, and generate is in-text citations also. I mean easily it can show the in-text citations. When you go to the insert or edit citation button, you can write your author or title or year and you can put it there itself. So, you select the article or book and click OK, automatically cite the text in the Word itself. So, and you can see here it is written Herring and Rickelt in 2008. So, this is a very simple process of inserting your bibliography and all. So, once you start using Mendeley or Citavi, then you would be very expert on this and it will help you a lot as a researcher or as an academician in your long term use and all, specifically those who are into research purpose and all. Choose your style, you can have a different kinds of styles, all the modern styles can be chosen from there and you can choose the style and it is done. And if you want to even shift from, say for example, your one article is written on APA style and you want to get converted into MLS style, you can also shift it also, that can be also done. You can create your groups also and see the groups you created, joined or followed, add documents into group or dragging and dropping, and you can have your private groups also, like it lets you share full text documents with a limited number of members. Nobody outside the group can see these files or the members. So, share your papers, collaborate with your research team and all. So, it is enhancing a lot of in the collaborative research purpose, it is putting a lot of things into that. So, find the public groups, even you can find some public groups ways, because probably in the same common dimension somebody else must be also working. So, you can get connected to those groups also. Browse the popular groups from this, there is an entire listing is available here. Create your own research profile, so it helps you to get connected to who is working on a similar area, so you can get connected to them, that is a very important area. Connect with your colleagues, search on a regular updates and all. You can do a lot of literature research, also search the catalogs and all on a regular basis, save it to your new research library and all with one click, and if the full text is available you will see a download icon into that. And search the catalog online, like conducting advanced searches or browse by discipline and all, find new research based on what is popular or what is not added and all. Quickly add to the new research or use a open URL to locate the full text. If the article is freely available, it is one click addition to your library. Social statistics help you learn about the using this paper, so quickly adds into different research dimension also. And it keeps you stay up to date also, because a lot of academic informations will start coming once you become a member of the blog of Mendeley, and you literally you can go through several guides, several tutorial videos when you visit them, and it would be very useful when you are teaching your students or you are teaching your research faculty, you can also tell them to go through it. And it is also available in other social media platform which you see here. So, Mendeley is a very important solution, and there is a very important quote they say, it is time to change the way we do research. So, with that we come to the end of this reference management, but please learners, please remember what we have studied today, that is that we have to adopt a systematic process to avoid the plagiarism. there are certain tools like Citavi and Mendeley are available, which can ease your life and which can help you to write better. And the most important thing is when you read and write, I think you can do a lot. Probably that is a very, very important component. So, thank you very much. Thank you for your patient listening.